Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine. From the Mezzanine is the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans, where we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all of the tea and gossip that happens week to week in the Broadway stratosphere. How is everybody doing? Welcome to another amazing episode of From the Mezzanine. I am so happy to have you listening today, especially to this episode, because I am so excited to have Dee Roscioli on the podcast this week. Dee is currently playing Celine Dion in Titanique the musical right now over at the Darren Criss Theater. And let me just tell you guys now, this interview was so fun, so funny. Dee is such a star. She gives us a little bit of Celine. She gives us a little bit of Cher because she was in the Cher show. She was also in Wicked back in 2006, I want to say. So it was such a fun interview. We talk about her long career working with the king of my world, Andrew Rannells. It just was a ball. So please enjoy the interview with Dee Roscioli. After the interview, I will catch you right back here for the Broadway grosses and some Broadway news. Enjoy the interview. Hello, everybody. I am here with the one, the only Celine Dion. Oh, almost there. No, even better. Dee Roscioli of Titanique here from the mezzanine of the Darren Criss Theater. Dee, welcome to From the Mezzanine.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We are so happy to have you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be
so
here.
I may have accidentally called you Celine Dion because that is who you play, the icon.
What?
She's here.
Oh my God, I'm here.
She just walked through the door. Oh my goodness, here she is. We're so honored. What is it like playing Celine Dion every night?
Well, I have to say, first and foremost, I love Celine. And I have since I was really young. She was kind of like a staple in our house, and my mom always played her. So I've grown up kind of loving her. And then to get to step into these shoes where I kind of, I'm going to put it in quotes, portray her. Mm-hmm. Because it's more of, this show is a parody. So I'm not doing the biopic of Celine.
Correct.
By any means. But we are paying homage to her heart and to her spirit and to her fun little idiosyncrasies.
And in such a remarkable way. The show is so funny. I need to know your first introduction to Titanique. What did you think of it? Did you see it before you were in it? Tell me about that.
100%. So my best friend, Kyle Luker, is my manager, and he had seen the show, I think 3 times. And he was like, you have to see the show Titanique. I think that you could be Celine Dion. And I was like, what? What is this show? And so he kind of explained it to me. And then we went, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't laughed that hard in so long. And I mean, not just because of Marla's portrayal, but just the entire show is such a riot, and it's so fresh and so fun and so ridiculous that I was like, God, if I could be a part of this show, I would love to be a part of it.
Yeah, do it in a heartbeat, right?
100%.
And here you are now at the Darren Criss. You're portraying Celine Dion and doing amazing at it. What was the training process like to step into that role for you?
Well, I mean, they generously gave me about 2 weeks of rehearsal.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that normal, or is that I think short?
No, I got a lot, actually.
Oh, that feels like jumping in.
I got a lot, and I was thankful for it, and I also did a lot on my own. I found out a couple months before I was gonna start rehearsal that I was going to be here, so I definitely put work into watching the videos and interviews with her, and of course re-listening to her music again and the music in the show, and just trying to figure out what was my way into her.
And what was that way in? How are you able to tap in just in a second?
Yeah.
What helped you do that?
I couldn't tell you exactly. A lot of times with an accent, you'll hear actors say, well, there's this phrase that I use. Right. It wasn't that for me. It was just this kind of cumulative process of watching her videos and kind of watching and then trying to do, and watching and then trying to do, and getting the feel, at least what I felt like was Celine. And then when I got into the rehearsal process, our assistant director, or associate director, Billy, she kind of was able to kind of mold and guide me from there.
Okay.
That's
keep
helpful.
This,
throw that out. Yeah.
Okay. Was there ever a moment, because I some people out there maybe, I'm like a closeted impersonator. Like everyone who knows me can attest to it. I'm always doing impersonations.
Really?
Yes, I love it.
What's
it's so fun. Oh my God, are you?
Yeah. Do you have a Celine? Oh my God. Do you have a Celine?
I cannot do it in front of you.
Yes, you can. Oh my gosh.
Cannot.
Please. I'm like, no, come on.
Okay,
you have
well,
to.
obviously after we saw the show, we like got to go get a slice of pizza, and we were in the pizza shop, like doing the, come on, like that.
Yes.
But there's so many of us. You have no idea how much it means to me that you just said that. Okay, we're moving past that, or else I will like hyperfixate. So, for all of us impersonators, sometimes like I just was embarrassed to bring it out of my home and into the world.
Yeah.
Were you terrified, or were you like confident in your impression?
No, I was 100% terrified.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't like, I don't see myself as Celine. I mean, you don't look at me and be like, oh yeah, Celine Dion, yeah, sure.
But you do act like, now that I've seen you play Celine, like I'm looking at you, I see Celine.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, and it's funny, and people have said that to me, and I take that as a compliment. But like, it's funny. I never felt that for myself. So, yeah, I don't know.
But you were terrified in that moment.
Oh, 100%. I was so terrified. I was like, I got the job, and I was like, great, this is great. And then I'm like, oh crap, can I actually do this? Can I actually do it beyond the audition room? Which I was very forgiving for myself in the audition room, because it's like an audition. You get like
You're finding
a couple
it.
days. Yeah. So it's like, whatever. But then I was like, now I have to do it for people that are going to be paying for tickets.
It was flawless.
Thank
Are
you.
flawless.
Thank
I
you.
love it so much. What has some of the feedback been since you have stepped into the role?
I think some of the funniest feedback is like people that actually think that I'm Celine, which is really, really sweet.
Yeah.
But come on. You know what I mean? Like,
Do people really think that?
Yes. There's some comments and things, like people saying things, and like, it's been like, I would say like a handful of people, and I'm like, it's always online, and I'm like,
okay.
well, is there Vaseline on the camera? Because like, you got to get your eyes checked. 'Cause, like,
you look so much like her. You do, especially when you put on the wig and the clothes, like, and the mannerisms. That's what really sells it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. What are some of the mannerisms that just like are Celine? Like,
she's always like, it's always a fist, and this is a very big one for her. She's very pointed with that. This Zen. I always call it like the Zen hand. She's always, and she also does the cupping of the boob. I don't know why that is, but she does
yeah,
that.
she does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about in like the face? What are we doing?
Well, the face, it's funny because like I think I exaggerate that a little bit more because it's theater. For some reason, this kind of like okay kind of thing has. I don't know if I've ever really seen her do this. I mean, I guess she does do the frowny thing. But she's very expressive. Her eyes are always wide, and she's not afraid to express her face.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. She just lives out loud and like larger than life.
Gloriously so, and we are better for it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to Celine. Okay, I love that. Thank you for giving us a little peek behind the curtain of what's going on over here at Titanique. Let's talk about you more so, like your upbringing and finding your way to theater. Was performing something you always wanted to do?
I think performing was something that I always did, and I didn't realize until a little bit later that it was something I could do as a career.
Okay.
So when I was younger, it was always doing impressions of just people in my immediate, like my music teacher and like, parents and aunts and uncles and things like that. And also just like singing. Annie was like a big thing for me as every little girl.
Absolutely.
And so I was always, singing. And then I found the first day of 6th grade, they had this pamphlet on our desks called the Performers Studio, and it was like a sign up for a nonprofit that taught kids how to sing, act, and dance.
Okay.
And that was a big thing for me because I was like, oh, I want to, this, it immediately called to me. So I asked my parents, they said no. And then they got it for me for Christmas.
Oh,
yeah, so I ended up getting to go.
great.
Yeah. And that was kind of the first formal training that I had with theater with singing and acting and dancing, and the dancing didn't take, and the singing and the acting did. So
certainly.
yeah.
So where did you go from there? You started at a young age, 6th grade, you said? That's that's when I feel like a lot of us start and get exposed to these kinds of things. After that, what was your journey like?
After that, it was college, and I decided very quickly that I was going to do this. This is what I wanted my degree in. I wanted to go for this. It just felt really right for me, and there wasn't really anything else that I was good at. I wasn't particularly great at school. There wasn't anything really that truly interests me, not the way in which performing did.
Yeah.
And my parents were really young, and they were really supportive of me, actually. They were like, yeah, great, go for it.
Yeah.
Because they knew how much I loved it and how much I had a passion for it. And so
yeah. And shortly thereafter, you were in Wicked. Is that right?
I mean, I would shortly. Yeah, it wasn't shortly.
Oh, was it?
No.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, no.
It was early in Wicked days, though, right?
It was early in Wicked days,
yeah.
But I had, and I hadn't been in the city for very long, but I was 21 when I graduated, and I got the job when I was 28. So there was some time in between there.
Right.
That I had done other little things like the non-equity tour of Cats and Pokemon Live, which was like a live action.
Oh my gosh.
Pokemon.
My fiance standing over there, Reed, is the biggest fan of Pokemon Live. I'm not even going to lie.
Oh, really?
And Pokemon in general. We love Andrew Rannells.
Yes, Andrew Rannells was in it.
And so that is how we first figured out about it, and he's spiraled ever since. Loves it. Oh my
God.
Tell the people, what was Pokemon Live? What was going on with that? Was it on Broadway or was it touring?
No, it wasn't on Broadway, but it did go to Radio City Music Hall.
Okay, I think that's what I've seen clips of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did do a short tour of it. It was supposed to be like 9 months, but it only lasted six. I don't know why. It just didn't do as well as they anticipated. I think they were a little later on where it hit in Pokemon fandom, like how the process of when it started to when that came out. I think kids had kind of grown up and were starting to grow out of it.
If only it were still out, we would be there all the time.
Well, you can always listen to the cast recording.
Well, it resurfaces. Are you aware of that? I see it on TikTok regularly.
Listen, there's an interview out there of me, and it's so funny to me because I'm 23, and I'm talking about I play Delia Ketchum, which is Ash Ketchum's mom, as you know.
Yeah.
And I talk about it like I'm doing Chekhov.
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, girl, get a grip. What's wrong with me?
This is so calculated. I'm giving the performance of a lifetime.
And my son, and I'm really motivated to take care of him. I'm like, get over yourself. Oh my God.
That is so good though that you have that to look back on and be like, girl, it was Pokemon Live.
It was crazy.
I love that. Okay. I am such an Andrew Rannells fan. Can you give us any Andrew Rannells stories from that time?
Well, I will say that he did the company a favor because he ended up flirting with the producer, and he got us all Game Boys.
Oh, thank you, Andrew Rannells. That's huge. I love that. Can you even play Pokemon on a Game Boy?
No.
Yes.
Well, now maybe you can.
From the audience, we have a yes.
I don't know what games we got with our Game Boy. I don't remember that.
Shout out Andrew Rannells.
Thanks,
she has
Andrew.
a Game Boy. Do you still have your Game Boy?
Well, no. I mean, I don't. If I do, I don't know where it is. It's probably my mom's basement, rotting away.
Solid. You could share that on eBay.
I
Andrew
could.
Rannells got me this Game Boy for Pokemon Live. That would be crazy. Okay. We're inching our way towards Wicked, which I definitely need to hear about. And you started in, what year was it you started in Wicked?
I started in 2006.
And was that in Chicago?
Yes, 2006 in Chicago. I got the job in late 2005, and then I started in January of 2006 in Chicago. I was a waitress, and then I was the standby for Elphaba, and that was how I got my equity card.
Oh, wow.
It was my first big job. It's actually how I made my Broadway debut. It's just that was everything to me.
And there's a lot of Elphabas that have passed through Titanique, too. Right?
Yeah.
Jackie Burns, Lindsay Heather Pierce. Mm-hmm. Am I missing any?
Nicole Parker. Yeah.
What is it? What is it about the Elphabas that bring you to Titanique?
I actually don't know. You know, I suspect maybe it's like a vocal. You know, Celine's music tends to sit in the same range
as Elphaba. That is so interesting to think about. The fact that is probably why, like, that y'all are coming through.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I mean, and y'all are getting Elphabas. Y'all are amazing. Elphabas are like the most talented and most trained singers out there.
What?
So,
are we? Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in my opinion,
I'll take it.
IMO.
Yeah.
Okay, so any behind the scenes fun stories from the early days of Wicked that you have to share?
Oh my gosh. Early in my run, I kind of, when I was a standby, I kind of was feeling comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when I wasn't ready to feel comfortable.
Okay.
And I almost missed a cue and almost ran into a set piece. You know, and those set pieces are moving and they're pretty dangerous, but I managed to make it on stage.
Oh, goodness.
In time. But it was pretty tricky.
What is, like, looking back at that time in your life, did you know at that time that Wicked would be the staple and the classic that it is right now?
I mean, you know, for me, it was already that.
Okay.
So it didn't even matter what it was going to do because it was just getting to play a role like Elphaba, because before Wicked, roles like that really didn't exist. I mean, Evita was out there, but there wasn't any real big female empowerment roles, especially with two women leading the charge, you know?
Yeah.
And there wasn't any roles where you were really using your voice in the way that Wicked required you to use your voice. So it was so exciting to me to get to be a part of that, because when I first saw the show, again, I saw it with my best friend and my manager, Kyle Luker, who said, "You will play this part." And we saw the show and I was like, there's no way I can sing like that. There's no way I can do it. And he's like, you're going to do it. You mark my words. And then it was a very short time after that.
That is remarkable.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, actually.
To have graced that stage. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is just incredible. Let's bring it back over to our home here at the Daryl Roth. I'm calling it my home now, too, because
it is your home.
I am on the stage. Anyways, let's bring it on back. I need to know, this cast is rambunctious. There's a lot of audience participation. It seems to be a lot of improv, too.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off with the audience participation. Have there been any, like, wild stories, or have things gone haywire because of it?
You know, the other night there was someone that shouted something to me and during the improv section, and I couldn't hear them, and it was a pretty quiet theater, so like I could tell it was someone trying to say something. So I shouldn't have, but I said, "What?" And then they said it again, and I still didn't get it. And then I just kind of heckled them back, because I have no idea if they were saying something positive or negative or what they were saying. So I was just like, I think I said something about, you know, do you want to come try and do this improv? Because it's not as easy as it looks. And then they shut up.
There you go. That works. Yeah. That'll do it.
But usually people are pretty polite and like they're involved when they know they should be involved.
Yeah.
And it's less of that they have to do anything and more of just being vocal and being like laughing. Just laugh at us all the time. Just like laugh
the entire
at us.
time.
The second we get on the stage, start laughing and clapping, and then just don't stop.
What's your opinion on singing in the audience in a show such as this?
You mean singing along?
Yes.
I mean, I guess there's moments you could do it. But would you want to sit next to someone that was singing along? Yeah. No. Yeah.
Definitely not. I just feel like this, since it is so like communal, I feel like a lot of people might be singing along.
I see people like mouthing the words when the song comes on that they really like.
I love a sway.
Yeah.
I love
a sway, an arm.
Or like feel the music a little bit.
Yeah.
But
or like I love this song. Yeah.
Let the stars sing. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to just come out and say that, because I didn't want to crush anybody's dreams or anything.
Sure. Because you could be on the stage one day, and that's your opportunity to sing. You could be Celine.
You could.
Okay, so that's our audience participation. What about any mishaps on stage? Y'all are running around. There's so much going on. There has to be some good stories from that.
There's so much going on.
I'm sorry, I'm picturing like the moments when you just like peek through a door and you're just like, what is she doing there?
Wait, okay. So I will say that there's two for me so far, and I hope it ends here. But I think it was like my fourth performance. Oh, see, I don't know if I should say this because I'm giving away some of the show.
If you haven't seen it, skip forward.
Yeah, definitely skip forward if you haven't seen it. So at the end, I have the rose wig cap with we call it the pubes. And so it was like, in order for that to happen, I have to take the pins out ahead of time of the wig that I'm wearing. So it's the big part of like My Heart Will Go On, and I'm up there, and I got it in my brain that I was like gonna really give it to them that night. I don't know why, but then I forgot that I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing pins in my wig. It's just kind of like resting on my head. So I like really, and I like whipped my head back, and then my wig came floop right off. So it was just like, you're here with the thing, and the audience. I don't think that they knew what was going on, but they were dying.
I'm sure.
And then the cast is like, they're singing, and they're supposed to do like a slow turn to me, and they did that when they saw me. They were just we none of us could hold it together. It was crazy.
Everybody broke. Did you break?
Yeah, I mean, I continued to sing, but yes, I definitely broke.
Do you break often?
I wouldn't say often. No.
Yeah. Is there somebody in the cast that does?
Right now, Tommy Bracco is our breaker, but he's new. He's not desensitized yet.
Yeah. Once he's done it like a few times, he'll be like, it's just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
Totally.
He's so wonderful though.
Totally. So you mentioned the improv scene.
Yeah.
I need to know more. Do you come? That is a fully improv scene every night?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I don't want to take any of the magic away. Nicole Parker is an improv artist, so she would do she would make up a song. Like the band would be like, okay, give me a rag, and then they'd be like, dun, 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 and she would just come based on whoever was in the audience, come up with a song that on the spot. I'm not that person.
Okay. So you do it in your own way.
I do it in my own way. I kind of come up with something ahead of time. What I've been settling into is when I get done with the show, I get on the train and I just start writing something, and ridiculous things usually.
I love
come
that.
Out. Yeah.
So when we saw it,
oh yeah,
you
what was
pulled
it?
out a Nature Valley bar out of your bra.
Oh, it was Magic Battle. I did Magic Battle. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So is that something that happens every so often? Or do you have like, oh, tonight there's a Nature Valley bar, let me stick that in, I'm going to go do Magic Battle? Or what's your process?
So usually, Magic Battle is fun because like, I like that improv because it's like, I can keep the core of it the same, but it's the wands can change, where Jack studies, the spells, what they get turned into changes. I forget what I made them that night. Do you remember?
No.
I do remember the granola bar, because that granola bar is actually still sitting back there.
For the next Magic Battle.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
I mean, I've had him. He had a gummy worm. I did that last week, and I gave him a chicken finger from Whole Foods. That was his one. Yeah.
Did you put it in your
Yeah,
shirt?
I put it in and wardrobe was not happy with me.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh, I love that. So there you go, everybody. That's your insight for the legendary improv scene that happens in Titanique. You never know what you're going to get. She's going to come up with something so off the wall and off the cuff.
Well, that's true.
Get ready for it. It is like, I probably don't remember what they turned in. I'm still trying to think what they turned into, because I was laughing so hard.
It worked.
I love it. Okay, one more thing about Titanique. Well, there's going to be a lot more about Titanique, but while we're in this convo, there's a lot of pop culture elements as well. When I saw it, Haktua had just, taken the internet by storm. It was Pride Day, and so you riffed off of that at the beginning of My Heart Will Go On. You're like, everybody in here is gay. What is your favorite part? Like, what are those fun pop culture moments? Like, what are your favorite moments you've integrated into the show?
Well, Haktua was definitely
a hit.
Yeah, it was great. Also, when was it Jasmine Crockett that called Marjorie Taylor Greene the bleach blonde bad bill butch body?
That I don't remember the names of the people, but I remember that statement.
So that was a fun one to play with.
That's good. That's good.
JoJo Siwa has been my favorite for a while now.
Do you do the dance? Is that what it is?
No, I don't do the dance. You know, Sarah, our background vocalist, when I incorporated JoJo Siwa into it, she did the dance during when I was introducing the BGVs. So
that's great.
It was fun. Yeah.
I
don't
want
to hurt my neck.
No.
I don't know how she does that.
I've tried.
Have you?
Of course I've tried. I cannot figure it out. I'm also not a dancer either.
It's crazy.
It doesn't look like you have to be like that good of a dancer. You just have to like get the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love the pop culture elements. They were so fun. So fun. So I had my listeners submit some listener questions for you.
Fun.
So let's kick it off with Nikki's question. She is asking, what is your favorite thing you have learned from each character you've played?
Oh, that's such a really great question. You know, Elphaba is always speaking out, and sometimes to her detriment. Mm-hmm. And it's not about not speaking out. It's about speaking out and being an activist in the smart way. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I learned from Elphaba. And playing Cher in the Cher show, mm-hmm. I think that was like kind of like a stepping into your unapologetic self. And this show, I would say, I have learned to not try to, this is actually kind of deep for me, but not try to control so much and just allow things to unfold as they're going to unfold, as, you know, because you never know what kind of audience you're going to get. You never know what kind of reaction you're going to get. You never know where the show is going to take you.
Right.
And you just kind of have to let it happen and let it unfold.
Let go. And do you feel like it's calming in a sense to be like, I can't control this show. Like, this show is quite literally a ship moving in its own direction. Like, I cannot control it. Do you feel, or is it harder that way? Like,
I think sitting here talking with you about letting go, and that's easy.
Yeah.
But when I'm actually doing it, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then just, I mean, it's like you can talk about jumping out of an airplane and you can talk about it with ease.
Yeah.
But the second you're standing at the doorway with the, you know, with the parachute, you're like,
that's
okay.
When it's real.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, those are great things to have learned, especially from like a character such as Celine Dion, which she's so incredible, but we are doing a parody. So
yes,
you do have to like, you learn things from every character, right? Even if they are so silly, but that's a great takeaway. Yeah. Did you have a history of doing improv before this?
No,
really?
No history of improv whatsoever.
Wow.
No improv. Yeah.
That's wild. Is this your first comedic show?
Yes, actually, it really is. I mean, I feel like this is closest to who I am in life, like really being silly and goofy. But usually I'm crying and belting.
Yeah. I love that though.
Yeah,
it has to be fun.
It is so fun, and it is so freeing. And to, you know, I don't even know what the word is really. I feel energized at the end of the night. And don't get me wrong, I'm tired. It's not easy.
Right.
But there is an energy that I get from the show.
Yeah, like there's so many shows out there. You look at the people playing and you're like, how do you do that 8 times a week?
Yeah.
How? It takes so much out of you. But this show gives back a lot to you, it sounds like. That's great. I love that. So Brinley is asking you, what are some of your favorite things to do in NYC when you're not performing?
Eat lots of food. Mm-hmm. So my partner Ben, he keeps like a list of like different places. If we see them on TikTok or someone recommends them, it's you know, Benny and Dee eat food, and we
shout
just
out, go follow.
Yeah. And we just, you know, kind of like when we want to figure out, let's go have dumplings. Let's, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll go and please don't ask me to tell you what the names of the places are because that's not my job. That's his job.
TikTok.
Yeah, that's his job.
I love that. There's so many good eats here.
Really, truly.
Yeah, you can never stop searching. There's so much.
Yeah.
What's the most surprising thing about working on Broadway or in the New York theater scene some people may not know?
Something that's so surprising about the New York theater scene is how tight-knit it is.
Mm-hmm.
We all kind of know each other. There really is a sense of community, and there, you know, even with newer people that are coming in, it's a very welcoming environment. Like we have a new cast member, Ray, and this is her first like New York big job.
Wow, yeah.
And it's just great getting to be a part of that journey for her because I know she's can have so much more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say it's the community and how tight knit we are.
Ah, beautiful. I love Broadway. Don't you?
Yeah,
It's
I
the
do.
best.
Yeah.
The best. What did you use or watch to tap into the role of Celine Dion?
You know, there was a Jerry Lewis telethon that yeah, it's really
random.
weird. But there was like a little clip of video from that that I kept tapping into.
Where she was performing?
Yeah, she was kind of talking to him and then she was performing. That was a big one that I remember. Also just any of her live like tour stuff and the backstage. I forget what the name of the tour is now, to be honest, which is so horrible. That's embarrassing. But there's like there's all this backstage footage of her getting ready, talking to people, and I watched a lot of that. She's so she's so kind to everyone. She's so she's about to go on stage and like sing for like all these people that like are paid a lot of money to see her, and she's just like, "Hey, how are you? How's your ankle?"
Aww.
You know, it's really she's spectacular.
She seems like such a great person.
Oh, yeah,
love her. Okay, how did you perfect her accent? Kind of the same question, but different.
Did I perfect her accent?
Yes.
I don't know if I've perfected that accent. Sometimes I feel like I'm from South America. Like sometimes, sometimes it goes. It goes to like a really weird place sometimes. I'm like, what's happening?
While you're on stage?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
yeah,
I'm like, I can't control it.
Yeah.
So funny.
I think it came from listening to the videos, but like even her, even she doesn't have as much of an accent as we give her.
Sure. Like how we remember it is a little more exaggerated 100%. Than when you're,
We definitely, we lay it on a little thicker than she has it. But it was helpful because I got the videos of Jackie and of Marla to be able to like learn the blocking of the show ahead of time. And listening to the two of them, like I was able to kind of like put together, okay, this is what we do in this space.
That's so helpful. For sure. Oh my gosh, that was probably a godsend. Okay, to finish it out, how about some rapid fire questions? Okay, let's do it. Kiss, marry, kill.
Oh gosh.
Jack, Cal, or Ruth?
Kiss, marry, kill.
Jack, Cal, Ruth.
All right. The characters, not the actors, right?
Oh, the characters.
Yeah, okay.
Fully. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say kill Ruth.
Yeah.
Kiss Cal, because that'd be a little fun, little dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And then marry, right? Is that right?
Marry
and
Jack.
Marry Jack, yeah.
Okay, I feel like
he's a good partner.
Expected.
He's like, he's always by your side.
Dreamy.
Yeah.
Artist.
Yeah.
What more could you want?
He's a good partner.
But like, I love Ruth. She's so amazing. I need to see Titanique again for a myriad of reasons, but I need to see Ruth again.
Yes.
Like the moment when they were running up and down these stairs and doing like the gypsy song.
Oh, yeah.
I could not pull it back together for like 10 minutes after that. So
wait, did you see Nathan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to see it again so bad.
He is something else. He's so funny. My favorite is like the wobbly. He does like the wobbly box step. You see him do? He's like,
yeah.
Oh my god, that I watch that on the monitor backstage every night because I just think it's so funny.
They are everything. Oh my god. Okay, Kiss, Marry, Kill ×2. Rose, the unsinkable Molly Brown, and Celine Dion. Stressful, I know.
Okay, might be an unpopular opinion. I'm gonna kill Rose.
Okay. Yeah.
I already have Jack.
You don't need both.
Yeah, no, and I will marry Celine and kiss Molly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say kiss Celine or kiss Molly?
Kiss Molly, marry Celine.
That would be a fun life.
Yeah, Celine, yeah. She's so like positive and uplifting. Of course I want to marry her.
Absolutely. Okay. Next rapid fire question. What song would you lip sync for your lifeboat to? So many good options. Does not have to be in the show.
Do I have to know it?
No,
like right
you
now?
can learn it. I'm not going to ask you to do it.
Okay. I'm going to say the first thing that comes to mind is We Are Family. We
Ooh.
are family.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's like a deep cut, I feel like. That's not like super
Well,
popular.
I mean, they play it every day before the show, so I hear it.
Oh, okay. This makes sense.
So it's not that original.
I love that. Do you think you would win?
No.
What would you do to stand out? Wig, costume?
Double wig.
Oh,
Double wig.
The pull off, and there's another one.
Double wig.
I love it.
That always works.
Do you have a dream role?
Okay, I don't think. Yes, I don't think it's written yet. I don't think it's happened yet.
Okay.
But a role that I would love to play that I'm never ever going to get to play is Roxy Hart in Chicago.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Oh my gosh, I can't dance that.
Oh.
Like if it was like Roxy's the most awkward dancer on the planet, then maybe.
Yeah.
But no.
Mm.
I saw Charlotte D'Amboise do that and I was like,
I want to do that.
this is, oh yeah.
That was your story with Elphaba and with this, though. So I'll be interviewing you in, who knows, 5 years. You'll be Roxy Hart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my
we'll be
gosh.
like, well, cut it to this.
And I'm like, I can't believe it.
Look at you now. Oh my God. Every time you do that, I'm just like dying inside. It's the best thing ever. Okay. Is there another legend that you would love to portray?
Another legend that I would love to portray. No. No, you know why?
Cher, we did Celine.
Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah?
It's pretty stressful to have to portray someone that's still alive.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
because you want to do everything like you want to be respectful, but you know, it's really quite difficult. So
I can only imagine because everybody who's coming through, they're coming through to see how you do, to see Celine. And I guess maybe people have different ideas of her in their heads or
sure.
And so I can see how that would be a little bit, well, extremely daunting.
Although I do say, I will say that if there was anybody's, I don't know if I would never get to portray her because I feel I'm too tall, but Linda Ronstadt is like her music and her voice. I love singing her music.
There you go.
But I would never portray her because she's like a little peanut of a thing. I'm too tall. I'm not too tall, but I'm tall, so it wouldn't. I don't know if it would work.
You never know. Never say never. Do you do other impersonations? If so, you have to show us.
I mean, no, I don't. No, Cher was like, Cher was also another surprise. Like, my friend was like, I think you'd be a great Cher. And I was like, well, why would that matter? And he's like, well, they're doing a musical. And I was like, oh.
Now it's relevant.
Maybe okay. And then I got that audition and I was like, I guess I'm doing Cher now. That was weird too.
Can you tap into Cher?
Sure, I could try. I mean, I don't know if I'm really going to be able to do it or not, but.
Wow, there she is. Oh, the hair flip.
Yeah.
That's Cher.
Yeah.
Remarkable. Seriously. Do you have a favorite line in the show?
Favorite line in this show?
Mm-hmm. There's so many good ones.
There are so many good zingers. Gosh, I can't. Like, of course, now I'm drawing a blank. You know what just keeps popping into my head, and I don't know why it really literally means nothing. And that's the way it is. I just think it's so fun to end the show like that.
Yeah.
But that's not really what I want to say. I just can't get that out of my head.
There are so many good ones.
What's your favorite?
I just love Nathan's gypsy scene. Like that entire scene.
Oh, yeah.
Was everything. I can't get it out of my head. Like I'm obsessed. It was so funny. They were running all over the place. It was remarkable. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't want to make you think too hard. You
I
have
know,
a show
but I'm
tonight.
like, what are my scenes?
Am I even in this show?
What's this?
Where am I?
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
That is too funny.
You can keep them. That's the way it is.
Perfect. And that's the way it is. Okay, to close it out, what is this is a big question. Okay. What is your favorite Celine Dion song of all time?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's all coming back to me.
Yes. So good.
Yeah, it's not in the show, but
no.
That was the song when I came to the city that I would use. It was my pop rock song.
Oh, genius.
I mean,
it's so musical theater coded.
It's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 23 and just belted that seems crazy to me that I did that now. But
yeah, I love that though. That's so wise.
I mean,
it's so...
that's how I booked Pokemon Live.
Oh my gosh. And now she's here at Titanique. Amazing.
It's full circle.
Yeah, we did it. Okay. Thank you, Dee, so much for coming on From the Mezzanine. You're the best.
No, you're the best. Thank you.
Okay, bye. That was the greatest interview ever. I love Dee so much, and we had so much fun. Let's get into the Broadway grosses, y'all. So this is for the week ending on August 4th. So we should have a full week of Aaron Tveit and JoJo being in Moulin Rouge. So we should be able to see how much they have bumped Moulin Rouge up. Now, keep in mind, Moulin Rouge is typically in like the 13 to 15 range, a good steady range. Whenever they had Boy George on, they were in like the 7s and 8s sort of range. So now let's see how they're doing with JoJo and Aaron. But first, let's start at the top. Of course, say it with me now. We have The Lion King at number 1. Wicked is 2. Hamilton is 3. Hell's Kitchen is steadily right there at 4. They're doing so incredible. I'm beyond happy for them. They are in a really, really big theater, which I think helps them a lot in terms of being so high. Like, they're even in a bigger theater than Hamilton, which is surprising. The Schubert Theater is huge. I do think Hell's Kitchen is going to stay for a while, but I've said it sometimes. I've said I feel like The Outsiders should move to a bigger theater because they can. Anyways, good for Hell's Kitchen, though. Aladdin is 5. Cabaret is 6. So Cabaret's bumped down just a little bit. The Outsiders is 7, doing so freaking well. Harry Potter is 8. And MJ the Musical is 9. And The Wiz is closing us out at number 10. Gatsby is right on their heels at number 11, though. And Moulin Rouge is 12. So this is interesting, guys. I think my prediction for when Aaron and JoJo arrived at the Rouge, I thought it was going to be around like 5 or 6. So I'm surprised that it's only at 12. That feels low. They're doing amazing, right? We don't need to worry about Moulin Rouge. They are doing excellent. I just thought that Aaron and JoJo would bump them up higher, but it's still early. There's still time. And like I mentioned last week, they do have a lot of scheduled time off. Now, I know that Aaron Tveit is like a Broadway legend, and he is known outside of the Broadway sphere, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a stunt casting, right? Because he's a Broadway boy, but I don't think he has that exact same pull as, like, say, Boy George, who was just in it, which is totally and incredibly surprising to me. I would think Aaron Tveit would have a bigger pull, but I'm just in that sphere, you know, like I'm an Aaron Tveit girly. So I just feel like a lot of people share that sentiment, but you know, it's not bad. It's nothing bad for Moulin Rouge. They're doing incredibly. They've always done well. I just predicted that they would do a little better than what they are. No worries though. No worries at all. Shall we just take a little peek at what's at the bottom? This is exciting. So at the bottom of the grosses, but not really like at the bottom, we have Once Upon a Mattress, and they had 100% capacity last week. So next week we will get to see what their arrival on Broadway means. I'm excited for this show. I need to see this show. I cannot believe it's already on Broadway, because I feel like we were just reporting about the fact that it was coming to Broadway, and now it is already here for a couple of months. We have it until November or December, I think. So I need to see it. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see this show. It just feels super unique, and it sounds really cute. And Bryn has described it to me as, you know, being super family friendly. And that just sounds nice, and I want to see it. I'm excited for it. But also at the bottom, we have The Notebook, and then Softs and Hadestown. So these are shows we just want to keep an eye on and go and see and support before it's too late, right? Okay, moving into our Broadway news of the week, guys. Closing my laptop for this because we have a lot to discuss. It was announced that The Greatest Showman is coming to Broadway? Question mark? Not quite. It's announced that it is going to be, or is in development for, a stage adaptation. We don't know Broadway. We don't know when. We don't know where. We don't know who will be cast in it. But it is being developed and worked on by the same creative team that they had on for the movie, with expectations, I can only assume, to come to Broadway. I think we all know it's going to come to Broadway, right? I think we could all agree on that. And when it comes, I think it is going to be like a Lion King and an Aladdin. I think it is going to come. It is going to make a huge arrival. It is going to be a renowned hit. I have chills just saying that. I think a lot of us thought it would come to Broadway sooner, but this actually might be the perfect time for it to arrive. And I say that because of what we've all experienced with COVID. If it would have come before COVID, odds are it would have fallen short, like Frozen did. Frozen had the backing of Disney behind it, and it didn't last all that long. And that was because it arrived at a really tough time for Broadway. But now it's been long enough. Broadway is booming once again. Yay, round of applause. We love that. I think it has really strategically placed itself in terms of timing. There's availability on Broadway for a big hit right now. We don't really have another huge hit that is doing things like The Music Man was, or Phantom when it closed. Like, we don't have something that is taking up all the real estate on Broadway right now. So if there's a lot on Broadway, you know, a lot of the theaters, majority of the theaters are full. That being said, there isn't something that is just monopolizing Broadway right now. And I think with the right cast, The Greatest Showman could do it. Which is kind of a crazy thing to say. And that is setting my expectations exponentially high, possibly too high, but I think it's possible. What does this mean for Broadway? Well, it doesn't mean good things for certain shows, especially a show that is centered around a circus. Water for Elephants. Greatest Showman's arrival means detrimental things for Water for Elephants, but keep in mind, Broadway shows take years to develop, and this is only being developed now. It could arrive in 2 years, right? So maybe Water for Elephants, they'll have their run and they will finish up, and then Greatest Showman could arrive. And that's what I said. Literally, rewind, go back and watch one of my earlier episodes when we were talking about Water for Elephants. And I said, I think it is coming now because Greatest Showman is coming. Wait, I need to go back and find that clip and cut it to here because now we have the announcement of Greatest Showman. And I knew that if Greatest Showman arrived or even was announced to be arriving, then Water for Elephants would either back away slowly or they wouldn't come right now because tourists would be like, why would I go see this circus show when Greatest Showman is coming in a year? And obviously that's going to be huge and a hit. I literally called that. I knew that it was coming, and that was why it felt like Water for Elephants rushed to Broadway. Whoa. That's crazy. I can't believe it. Anyways, but yeah, it does mean bad things for Water for Elephants because these two shows, the parallel lines are too parallel, you know, and one is so well known, and Water for Elephants, based on a movie, it is well known. It had a good cast, like with Grant Gustin, it had that fan appeal, but Greatest Showman was way more popular, I think, the movie musical, than Water for Elephants ever was. And so I do think this is going to be an astronomical hit. So that's one factor of it, is that it means for Broadway as a whole, I think it's going to get a lot more competitive because when you bring in another big blockbuster hit, all the tourists flock to those theaters. They flock to Lion King. They're going to flock to Greatest Showman. And plus it has Disney behind it. People want to know what they're getting into. And since Disney is behind it, families and tourists can know what to expect. Plus, in and of itself, Greatest Showman was an amazing movie. It was one of the first movies, like, in my time where I felt like everybody agreed on the fact that it was amazing. I was obsessed with that movie. I probably watched it like 6 times. Now, I'm kind of over the movie. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to see how they develop it into a musical. I think they're probably going to stay really true to the movie. I don't think that they'll divert too far away from the original plot. But I'm excited, and like my family loves this movie. My little cousin is always singing Never Enough, and he loves the song. So like I'm already thinking about how fun it'll be to bring them to go and see that show. Obviously, everybody's going to want to see it, and I just know it's going to be a monstrous hit. But yeah, like I did say, like personally, it's been so long since the craze of the original film that I'm kind of over it. Like the characters and the songs are just, they were so overplayed, or maybe I just listened to that album too much, but I am kind of over it. But I know that doesn't matter. And once I see the musical, it'll be a whole new thing. It'll stay close enough, I think, to the original movie. But once you bring it to a stage, it just has this new life that I think I'll just really love. And then the other factor that I wanted to talk about is that you may or may not know this, guys, but Aaron Tveit and Jeremy Jordan were in the early workshops for I want to keep calling it Water for Elephants, for The Greatest Showman, the movie. There are videos out there online, if you haven't seen them, go and see them, of Aaron Tveit. Well, I don't know if there's a video of Aaron Tveit, but it is known that he was in those workshops. But there is a video of Jeremy Jordan singing Zac Efron's songs in Greatest Showman. So the question is raised. Are they going to come to the show? Are they going to be in that role? I don't think so. I could see them more so as the Hugh Jackman character, which raises the question, is Hugh Jackman going to come back to this role? And if they got Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman on Broadway, it is over for everybody else. That is going to be the biggest hit ever. It will be like revolutionary, the heights it will achieve with Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman on Broadway. If they do that, which is a big if, because I mean, Hugh Jackman, that was years ago that he did this show. I'll be surprised if he wants to come all the way back to it, but we all know that Hugh loves Broadway. So the possibility is definitely there. But the question is, will he do it? And that's what I don't know. I'm kind of like indifferent on if Aaron Tveit or Jeremy Jordan would join the cast. I kind of feel like they would need somebody a little bit younger. Would Zac Efron do it? We've talked about it time and time again on the podcast. How can we get Zac Efron on Broadway? I've always said make him Christian in Moulin Rouge because I can see that perfectly. Opposite JoJo, that would be crazy. I love that. Anyways, I don't think he'll come to Broadway for Greatest Showman because he's like it feels like the movie was so long ago, you know? I could definitely see Keala Settle, since she was an original Broadway girly. I could see her coming back to play the bearded woman and singing, "This is me, look at, 'cause here I come." Yep, yep, yep. Like I can definitely see her coming back. And I think that she should. I think that would be a really good career choice for her. But as far as Hugh, I'm not getting my hopes up. And as far as Aaron or Jeremy, not getting my hopes up, because I don't think that they would play Zac Efron's character, because when they're on Broadway, honey, they're the lead, right? So I think that they would play Hugh Jackman's character, P.T. Barnum, in Greatest Showman. But I am really excited about this show. I'm excited to see its journey to Broadway and how it goes. And we all just knew this was going to happen. You know, we all knew this was one of the biggest movie musicals of all time. We all knew if it didn't come to Broadway, it would be the biggest missed opportunity ever. And now they're coming, and it was finally announced. So I'm super hyped. Our last piece of news that I want to report on this week with you guys is Elsie Fest. So one of my dear friends, Bailey, shout out, she messaged me earlier in the week and she was like, keep an eye out for this Elsie Fest thing because we are going to need to go. And I was like, Elsie Fest? I've never heard of this. Apparently it is a somewhat annual music festival that's all about Broadway that Darren Criss has always hosted. It's like his event. And they announced this week, everybody's going to be there. And it's already so soon. It's September 8th, which feels like it's in a week. I know it's already mid-August, but it feels like it's already September. I don't know. The year's going by so fast. But it is going to be on September 8th at the rooftop at Pier 17. Yeah, you heard that right, guys. It is a Broadway music festival. Where can I sign up? Where can I sign up? Furthermore, the lineup I'm so hyped for. Rachel Zegler, which I keep raising the question, will she be singing in Romeo and Juliet? And now I need to go to Elsie Fest because the reason I would want to see her is to hear her sing. And obviously at Elsie Fest, she'll be singing. Will she be singing songs from Romeo and Juliet? Will she be singing songs from Snow White? I don't know, and I'm excited. So she's numero uno on the list. Then we have Lizzie McAlpine, which is kind of random because she's not, to my knowledge, a Broadway girly, but I know she has a huge fan base. So that'll definitely bring people in. Jordan Fisher. Literally, I need to buy a ticket yesterday. Darren Criss, of course, because he hosts. Will Butler, who y'all know from Arcade Fire and Stereophonic / From the Mezzanine, because I've interviewed him and I love this man. He is so funny and he always looks so sharp. And I just love talking to him. He is such a joy. Joy Woods, speaking of joy, Joy Woods is up on the lineup. And we have from the new musical Drag, the drag musical, Alaska Thunder F Word. I don't think I can say her name on the podcast. Sorry, Alaska. But Alaska is going to be there. So it's going to be so fun. And I'm so excited. And I'm hoping I get to go. I don't have my ticket yet, but I need to get it. It says that there's also going to be other surprise guests. That leaves me pondering. Who could it be? I don't know. This is a great lineup. Rachel Zegler. Wait, maybe Rachel. Why do I feel like Rachel Zegler and Jordan Fisher have been in something together? Maybe in their no, Rachel Zegler wasn't ever on Disney Channel. Am I crazy or have they been in something together? Because I just was like, wait, maybe they'll sing something together, but I don't think that they've been in. I don't know why my mind went there. Anyways, super psyched for Elsie Fest. I wonder if it's called Elsie Fest because of... Wait, what is Elsie? I always thought it was like Elphie Fest. But now that I'm looking at it, it's Elsie. I don't know. These questions will be answered when I attend. Okay, guys. And with that, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of From the Mezzanine. Special shout out to Dee Roscioli for being the world's greatest interview ever. Absolutely loved that to no end. And I'll never, ever be the same again now that I have interviewed on the stage of Titanique with the woman who plays Celine Dion. I'm not okay. That was the best ever. Next week, I have a super duper special guest too, guys. Y'all are going to die. I want to give you a hint. Let me think. What could my hint be? You will be blue with envy. I know that's not the phrase, but that's where my mind went. When you see who I interviewed next week. But you will know soon enough, I promise. I'm so excited to share that interview with you guys as well. It has just been so much fun here over at FTM. So tell your friends to join in with the fun and share this episode with your Broadway loving bestie because I'm sure they're going to enjoy it just as much as you do. Please, please, please leave me a review or a like or a subscribe or a comment wherever you're listening right now. Y'all are the best. Join me over on the Patreon right after this episode for the Meet Me at the Stage Door, where we do a little after chat. I'll tell you all some behind the scenes stories about the Titanique interview. Everybody on the Patreon already knows who I'm interviewing next week. So go and join me on the Patreon and become a Broadway bestie for $5.99 a month. You get a Broadway vlog a month, an FTM story time a month, and then, of course, a Meet Me at the Stage Door after chat after every podcast episode. Follow me on social media. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. All of the links are in the show notes below. And y'all are the best. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next Tuesday.